Chairperson, for those kind words of introduction. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Bansi Sabu and the whole organizing committee, RSSDI 2021. And I would also like to congratulate them for holding the first face-to-face and hybrid, I can say hybrid conference after 2019. Thank you, sir. Now, I had been asked to discuss about the role of allogliptin in the management of type 2 diabetes. I had been given this task to discuss about the allogliptin. We all know we had seen this slide since morning many times. The prevalence of diabetes is increasing globally, and we all know that we have more than 537 million diabetic patients in the world, and there are equal number of diabetic population in the society who do not know that they have diabetes, where we say that even impaired fasting glucose and impaired glucose tolerance is almost equal number. Now, these pre-diabetic conditions are also responsible for development of major macrovascular complications, that's coronary artery disease. We know diabetes is not only a disease of morbidity but mortality. We have a data currently which says that every 5 seconds there is one person is dying because of diabetes somewhere in the world. It's a huge mortality, and mortality in diabetes is mainly because of coronary artery disease. Now, if we know that we have to individualize the treatment of diabetes in every patient, previously we used to consider all these things into consideration while selecting the treatment, but resources and support system was never taken into consideration. But in last 4 to 5 years, we see that ADA, EASD also says that resource and support system plays a huge important role in selecting the drug. Now, these are the 2021 guidelines which clearly highlights the importance of the use of DPP-4 inhibitors in patients with type 2 diabetes mellitus who do not have any evidence of atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease or who do not have history of heart failure. These are the patients where we can select DPP-4 inhibitors as second line of agent and probably as third line or fourth line agent even in those patients with coronary artery disease also. This has not only been recommended by ADA but also EASD. And if you see the profile of most of the anti-diabetic agents, here you can see DPP-4 inhibitors are the drugs which has the safest profile, with no evidence of hypoglycemia, probably weight neutral, renal and hepatic safe, cardio CV neutral, no effect on the bone, and probably no evidence of ketoacidosis like SGLT2 inhibitors. So probably DPP-4 inhibitors are the safest drugs among all anti-diabetic agents as a second line of agent. Now, the role of gliptins is can be used as a monotherapy, can be used as add-on therapy, because we know that these are the cardiac CV safe or cardiac neutral, and Indian patients respond better, possibly because of many factors, few of the factors which has been highlighted by my previous speaker. But then Indians do have high carbohydrate, high carb diet, and that is one of the important factor which also should be taken into consideration when we are using gliptins. Now, I am going to talk about allogliptin in next few slides, where you can see this is the comparative data of the currently available gliptins which are available to us, where allogliptin has DPP-4 selectivity of more than 14,000, and that leads to increased GLP-1 secretion almost 3 to 4 times more as compared to the other gliptins. Allogliptin selectively inhibits the DPP-4. Probably the DPP-8 and DPP-9 inhibition is minimal, and that's why the effect on immunity is minimal with allogliptin. The HbA1c reduction or DPP-4 inhibition leads to significant glycemic control, and HbA1c reduction is almost similar. The post-dose inhibition is almost similar with other gliptins. The HbA1c reduction seen with the allogliptin is comparable with the other gliptins, between 0.5 to 0.8%, which has been recommended, which has been shown in various studies. The similar HbA1c reduction is seen with allogliptin also. The Common adverse effects may be like nasopharyngitis, upper respiratory tract infection and headache is almost similar with other gliptins or maybe slightly lower with the alogliptin. Now to evaluate the safety profile of alogliptin, a landmark cardiovascular outcome trial which was conducted on alogliptin, that is EXAMINE study, which has studied more than almost 5,000 patients. India was also a part of this study. Almost 18% population were from India. The duration of study was more than 4.5 years. And the patients who were studied in this trial, the most important criteria was patients had an acute coronary syndrome within 15 to 90 days before randomization. That was a very important criteria. The HbA1c was between 6.5 to 11%, and it was compared with placebo. When alogliptin was compared with placebo, it was found that the primary endpoint which was studied in this study was death from cardiovascular cause, non-fatal MI, stroke. Secondary endpoint was revascularization in those patients who has ACS. And there were a few exploratory endpoints and additional safety points which were also studied in this study. What was found that the primary composite endpoint, MACE, cardiovascular death, non-fatal MI, non-fatal stroke, all these primary endpoints were similar to that of placebo. So there was no this drug was not inferior to the placebo in terms of cardiovascular safety point of view. So it is CV neutral. HbA1c at same HbA1c, the adverse effects were almost comparable with the placebo. There was no difference. The most important thing was when this CVOT trial was compared with other gliptins, it was found that with Savartimi there was slight increase in the HHF, hospitalization due to heart failure. Even in EXAMINE study, there were few patients who were 6 patients more with hospitalization due to heart failure, and hence it was concluded from this study was alogliptin is not associated with excess cardiovascular event. There was no increased risk of hypoglycemia or weight neutral. There was no increase in the risk of pancreatitis or pancreatic cancer. Alogliptin did not appear to have increased the risk of new heart failure hospitalization due to heart failure, new patients. All those patients who had his past history of heart failure, probably those were the patients who were hospitalized again and again. Therefore, EXAMINE study was re-evaluated for HHF patients. And what was found with the re-evaluation of EXAMINE study, in patients with type 2 diabetes mellitus and recent ACS, severe outcome including HHF were not increased with alogliptin as compared to placebo, including the patient with history of heart failure or with elevated NT-proBNP. The reduction in NT-proBNP and use of diuretic was similar in both the groups, whether it is placebo or alogliptin. So, probably alogliptin is a CV neutral drug. Alogliptin has also been shown to be more efficacious in Asian population, probably because of high carb diet, and the other reasons has been already been highlighted. Now, this was a drug which do not cause weight gain and hypoglycemia. Now, alogliptin was also evaluated in patients with chronic kidney disease, and what was found that alogliptin can be safely administered in patients with CKD. However, the dose adjustment was required based on patient's EGFR. If EGFR is more than 60, it can be used in full dose. If it is between 30 to 60, we need to reduce the dose to 50%, and if EGFR is less than 30, we need to reduce the dose to 25% of the maximum recommended dose. However, in patients with hepatic dysfunction, mild to moderate hepatic dysfunction, alogliptin can be used safely. Those patients with severe hepatic dysfunction, alogliptin is not recommended to be used. In short, alogliptin is a drug which does not cause hypoglycemia. It's a weight neutral, no risk of pancreatitis, GI effects. It's well tolerated in patients with type 2 diabetes mellitus, with elderly patient, renal and hepatic impairment, and those with CV event. Now, when we compare alogliptin with other gliptins, you can see the alogliptin is a drug which is CV safe, and alogliptin is a drug which is available at lower cost. So these are the probable advantages over other gliptins, and hence we can use alogliptin safely in patients with type 2 diabetes mellitus. To summarize, we can say gliptins plays a huge role in the management of type 2 diabetes mellitus, especially in those patients who do not have ASCVD or history of heart failure. Alogliptin is a drug which reduces HbA1c significantly with minimal or no risk of hypoglycemia, weight neutral, CV safe, recommended in mild to severe renal impairment with dose adjustment, and mild to moderate hepatic impairment. It can be used, affordable to all Indian diabetic patients. Thank you for your patient hearing.